How's it going, everyone? What I wanted to give to you today was just some streaks I had built up, gun streaks, infantry streaks, with in this case the M16A3, the G3A3, and a couple of others, a couple of different maps as well. It's based not huge impressive streaks. They're around like 15, 20 or so. They're just fun. I thought they were fun, so I figured I'd post them. I'm getting more and more used to PC every day. That's why I figured I'd post them. This one here, I'd like to emphasize the importance of a suppressor on your gun, because well, these guys were kind of clueless as well, which also helps significantly. But in this case here, having a silencer here keeps you off the minimap, so I think that's a big reason why they probably didn't notice me. That and they're clueless. But this one here, yeah, emphasized. But I mean, okay, I'll get into it here. Basically, the suppressor will keep you off the minimap and keep you, well, from being spotted, which is huge, which is key to flanking. It's a huge, intricate part of flanking is not getting noticed as you sneak up behind them. Having the suppressor is big, but the suppressor introduces lower velocity rounds, which are less damaging over range, so that's the compromise. That being said, in this case here, it kept me off the map and kept me successful. But you have to balance when to use the suppressor at all. Like in this case here, I used it because I figured it would be closer range encounters if I did manage to get behind them, and as you saw, it worked out pretty successful, and it usually would work out successful in a lot of other circumstances. That being said, you'll see in a minute or two here, well here, right here, Donovan Peak with the G3A3, as much as I am the attacker, and actually flanking them in this case and keeping off the minimap would be highly beneficial in every circumstance, I chose instead, figuring that I'd be overwhelmed with a majority of of enemies shooting at me, to take the suppressor off and just go loud. The reason here too, I didn't immediately attack the MCOM, because some of you would say, "Yeah, why are you attacking the MCOM?" And you can. Nothing was stopping me, I guess, in a couple of these circumstances here. But the key, what I wanted to do, and I do this a lot, what I usually do is I figure with my accuracy, I'm able, and my timing, as long as I sit back, I allow my squad to spawn on me, so we can have at max 3 to 4 guys able to attack the MCOM here. Being able to have my team spawn on me, giving them basically a mobile spawn point while also keeping the enemy suppressed and at bay as they arm the MCOM is just as beneficial as someone that's able to rush in there and plant the MCOM themselves, as long as you're doing your job effectively, and that's what I was going for. So if someone was out there and about to say, "Oh, why aren't you going in there and attacking it?" You'll see in a minute why. It's because basically this section of Donovan Peak in a 64-man server, if you aren't able to get in there and get in there quick to plant it, but you aren't sure where the enemy is at all times, and in this case it's next to impossible, because there's no way in hell you'll be able to predict behind their spawn point where they're going to be at all times, I figured I'd just provide cover for my teammates to plant it, and it ends up working out well, exactly the way I thought it. It's a good streak too I get here, but sitting in this spot until they blow down my walls of cover here is a really nice spot, because as you'll see, it's just a constant stream of them going back to that MCOM to try and defend it. And you sitting there and mowing them down, providing cover for your teammates while they also go in there and plant the MCOMs is probably the best strategy. I've seen a lot of different higher level players, higher skilled players on PC deploy the same strategy. Especially if they're in a squad, or especially if they're, a clan together. That's the usual strategy. I end up playing solo anyway. Because switching to PC, I lost a lot of the people I've been playing with lately. So a lot of the time I just go myself, and either I communicate through the chat a lot of the times, or I'll communicate in other means to try and tell my teammates what I'm doing and what I'm planning on doing, and it works out. Like this is what I was talking about here, especially with the G3A3 here, because it gives an extra 3% suppression per round coming out. So keeping the enemy suppressed even if you aren't killing them, even though I was actually doing a number on them. Highly effective strategy here. The next thing I wanted to say is, if you're noticing why the chat isn't on, that's just a little side point. I didn't have the chat on because these guys in the previous 2 matches I was playing in, were just endlessly ranting about stupid crap, mindless arguing, mindless crap from idiots. So I just turned the chat off. As much as, yeah, sometimes you're sacrificing, that little bit of extra intel which could help you or your team. dealing with idiots that are just mindlessly ranting on and arguing about useless crap, I find even more distracting than if I was to just read the minimap myself like I was on console. I got used to playing on console and reading the minimap really well. In the past, I didn't need the chat box, so that's why it's kind of beneficial for console to help me out a bit there. I was able to completely ignore their idiotic rants in the chat. And we got those MCOMs. We got stopped here. This is the same match. This is later on in the match. We ended up getting stopped here, which was unfortunate, because I don't think I've really ever been stopped here before in most of the good teams I'm attacking with, and our team was okay. I was using the same strategy here, same as usual, same one I was just talking about. Sit here, suppress the enemy, or ideally kill them, which I was doing in numerous numbers here. I was at 60 kills at this point in the match here, and the EA Humble Bundle helped. I mean, there are a lot of the guys out there that weren't that great that just bought the game. They're new to it, so you were taking advantage of basically killing down guys that don't really know the game all that well, but that's... Hey, I was that guy. I'm not going to hold back on them either. I was being punished by the veterans. Time for those rooks to get punished by me. So... yeah, that was part of it. I was at 60 kills, I think, at this particular point right before we got stopped. And that part was my fault too. I shot at the wrong guy while the MCOM was still playing it, but I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and review the footage slowly to see if it was actually my fault or not, if I could have got him. Because if he was hidden behind the MCOM as he was planting it, I'd have to charge in there. But as you saw, I was already shooting 2 or 3 guys, so I don't know if me charging in there would have actually done anything other than get myself killed. That was a nice defense, little jump and defense section there. But that's, yeah, I usually repeat myself a lot, but that's basically my general strategy with regard to a lot of playing Battlefield as of late, especially in Rush. Is as much as I might not be the guy that rushes in there, I'm usually the guy that if it's planted or if my teammates actually are on the MCOM, I can hold them off. It's my favorite thing to do. I find I'm really effective doing it. This one here again this one here is another loss. But I figure I like gun gameplays, especially on the PC version. I couldn't really do it as effectively on Xbox because there just wasn't as many people to kill. That's all it was. Because it would be at max kill 2 or 3 guys and there'll be a minute break, 2 or 3 more guys to kill, and that's just console people might appreciate it, but the general majority playing on PC probably wouldn't appreciate it all that much, so I didn't bother posting a lot of infantry plays. But now that I'm on PC, I figure I can, so I will. And this was just, I think, 3 or 4 pretty decent streaks. Not the best. I'm not claiming they're the best. I just find them fun to watch. That's why I post them, and hopefully you guys do too. This one here, I think, was like a 20 or a 21. And this streak here was... this one actually happened a couple of months ago. The only reason I got around to posting it now is because I only came up with the idea of actually posting some of the cool accumulated streaks I had recently, so I figured I'd post this too. This one here, this is probably one of my favorite spots to play for Epicenter Rush here. Sitting behind this rubble pile and just mow them down as they continually push toward this MCOM. The only dangers that you're going to face are the section I'm going up here because it's a rear flank angle. And if you aren't playing this route well, and you're not, like in this case here, none of my teammates went up there, which, I mean, if you're already sensing at this point, the second set of MCOMs, that your teammates aren't going up to a major flank angle and defending it, that you're probably going to be in trouble for the rest of the match. And we were, because I was basically playing 2 different routes, the one I started out on the bottom and this flank angle. And, I mean, I can't play both. I needed help here, but I didn't really get it all that much because my teammates didn't really choose to play this angle at all. But that's basically it. Control these 2 areas, and it's the easiest way to actually shut the enemy team down. A lot of guys will try and plant a spawn beacon where I just knife this guy on the bottom here, so watch out for that as well. But if you can hold these 2 areas, it's a great spot to play. It's a great spot to rack up kills. And as you'll see for the rest of it, I think I end up racking up like, I think close to a 20 kill streak. I don't show myself die at the end of this streak, the only reason being because it was about like a minute or 2 before I ended up getting the death after that section. So I figure I'd just cut it off early. I'll give you guys the kills, I'll give you guys the defense strategy that I typically use, and well, that's it. You don't need to see any of the extra other crap. So that's basically it. These were some pretty decent streaks, that's about it, and some little tips with defending certain sections. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. See you later.